All right, folks, so today is January 14th, 2025, and I am going to show you pretty much how I came up with this specific script here to show you exactly what I'm doing. All right, so you see over here we have the radar screen, and we have NQES, the Russell, we have SPY here. They're all on the 5-minute time frame, but I've got something here that I call bar name, and so it's telling us pretty much on every chart that on the 5-minute chart here, that bar is trying to give us it's trying to tell us what that bar looks like, right? So we're gonna make something that will tell us what that current bar is. And for this one, I just have it considered a bullish step up, right? So not this current bar that it's working on, but the prior bar that actually has completed. It's a bullish bar. The close is higher than the open, and it's a step up, just meaning that the low is higher than the low before it, and the high is higher than the high before it. So we're going to get into how to make that in just a minute. Hopefully I can do it pretty quickly, and you'll get something useful out of this video. Let's roll it. All right, here we go. We are back. There we go. All right, so check this out. Check this out. I'm going to close this. I want to close that screen there. Now, if I click on Forex here, you see on this screen here, if I click on this word here, this label, click on that, and then all of a sudden it opens up my screen here for a Chrome browser for Forex Factory, right? So you can pretty much have that work for anything that you want it to work for. And I think you use the environment tab is the environment class, and then you use start. And I tell you what, let's look at it real quick, and then we'll get on to what we're doing for today. So the main display here, if I go and I say environment, well, I got to use EL system. I don't have the namespace pulled up, but EL system environment, and then you do start, and then you can put a file name or whatever you want, and it'll open up whatever you want to on your computer. Very cool. You just need to put the path name in there. All right, so what we have here for bar name, this is what's printing out to our radar screen for our different bar names. So what we're going to do is I've got it here, but we're going to create a new one just to show you from start to finish what it looks like. You're going to pull up a function. We're going to call this function YT bar name. And for my functions, I actually start them with a $, YT bar name. And then it's going to be of type string. It's going to return a string. Okay. What? Oh, can't have a space in here. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to, I don't know if we need a variable there. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to have 3 variables in order to create the type of nomenclature that I have for what I'm doing. I want it to reference 3 different things. I want it to have a directional component. I want it to have a gap component, whether or not there's a gap between one bar and the next, and I want it to have just a kind of like a naming component. So for a variable, we're going to put m direction, and then m gap. And these are not inputs; these will just be variables. Okay, and then I'm going to show you what I ran into, and then hopefully it makes sense to you. So I'll tell you what, for m gap is going to be easy. So m gap will be essentially if you have a high that is greater than the high before it, right? So it's not equal to the high before it, or there's no overlap. The high is not less than it, but I'm sorry, it's not even the high. It's that the low of the current bar is higher than the high before it, right? So m gap. So if the low is greater than the high a bar ago, then m gap is equal to gap up. And just the inverse, if the high is less than the low of a bar ago, then m gap equals gap down. Okay, so now that covers the gap. Now we need to look at the direction, which is also fairly easy. So if the open if the open is less than the close, then that means that we went down, right? Then M direction equals bearish. And if the close is greater than the open, then M direction equals bullish. And I want to maintain some kind of continuity between uppercase and uppercase, or just make it all lowercase, or want to maintain some type of continuity there, because as I start using this throughout the entirety of the framework or the system, the structure of when I reference this on other indicators, I may want to search or find out if something is equal to this. So I don't want to put lowercase and then ask, is it uppercase? And then it will tell me no, because it'll be case sensitive. So now if open is equal to close, equal to close, then M direction is equal to doji. Okay, so now for the next part, the step up, step down, I'm just going to go ahead and type this in. If the high is greater than the high of a bar go, and the low is greater than the low of a bar go, we're kind of stepping up, right? Then M reference is equal to step up. Okay, now if the high is less than the high of a bar go, and the low is less than the low of a bar go, then we're kind of stepping down. Equals step down. Okay, now if the high is greater than, if the high is less than high of a bar go, and the low is greater than the low of a bar go, then we got an inside bar, and the low is less than inside. So the low is greater than the low of a bar go, then M ref equals inside bar. Okay, and now just the converse, if the high is greater than the high of a bar go and the low is less than the low of a bar go, then we're on the outside. M ref is equal to outside bar. Okay, so now we want to put all this together, right? So, and essentially our function name is going to be what returns our information. Okay, so watch this. YT bar name is equal to, we're just going to put them all together. So you can put them in any direction that you want to. I'm going to put the direction component first, and then a gap up, gap down, and then the step up, step down, inside, outside. All right, so it'll say M direction, and since they're all strings, we can just put it back to back to back, plus M ref, just like that. Okay, now I'm gonna hit verify, no issues there. So this is YT bar name function. Let's go pull up something here, YT bar name function. Okay, we're gonna pull it up over here, and that is a, well, that's a function. So I'll tell you what, we need to first incorporate that somewhere else. We need to incorporate it into some, because this is just a function, so this just quickly does what we need it to do. Let's put it into an indicator that says YT bar name, and then we're just going to put it for radar screen. That's fine. Okay, so we're just going to say plot 1 is equal to, well, we want to put this YT bar name, but the way a function works is you have to make it equal to something, right? So you have to say, like, you have to have a string, bar name, and then so bar name is your string, equals YT bar name. Okay, so now this is your function. That's why it comes in this color. And so now on every bar, we're assigning this function what the value, the output of this function, which will be a string, we're assigning it to this string variable. You see a string variable. Okay, so we're going to plot that. I'm going to plot the bar name. Okay. And then the heading of it will just be bar name. Okay. All right, so now we verified that. So now the name of this indicator is YT bar name. All right, so let's come back over here and go to YT bar name. Right there. Added it. Okay. Okay. Now you see, we got right here our information. This bar here will be a bullish step down. Now you say this says bearish step down. Let's drag this over and I'm going to show you why there's a difference. Something I had to play with. Okay. All right. So bullish step down, bearish step down. These are different. And you see it just changed now too. Let's go to NQ. So we're already on NQ. Now it's not going to reference this current bar. It's going to reference the bar go because this current bar it's not closed yet. It's still working on it. So it's going to reference the bar go, which is this bar. And what is this bar? This bar is a bullish bar. It's bullish, and the low is lower than the bar before it. Excuse me, the low is lower than the bar before it, and the high is lower than the bar before it. So this should technically, and it's not a gap down, so this should be a bullish step down, right? See, a bullish step down. This says bullish step down. All right, so let's look at this one. ES. Okay, so we're looking at this bar. Same thing. This should be a bullish. Well, this has equal low, I think. The low there is 84.25, 84.25. All right, so because of the way I have this set up, this wouldn't give me a step down because it has equal lows. So this should just pretty much say just bullish. And there we go. It just says bullish. Okay, so now this does not say bullish. This is giving us other information. Let me show you what the problem is. And it's something that I'll say that I don't understand, but I have an appreciation for while, working on these scripts. What you have to end up doing is somehow, even though you're running this, oh, here it is. Even though you're running this indicator through this function is doing the heavy lifting. But the information, the work that the function is doing is back over here. It would be my understanding, much like a method has local variables and local information that the broader script can't see, I would think that the script will not be able to hold information from these prior variables. But what it's doing is when this is being run, essentially this whole program is being run, right? Because this is the function. But now these variables, the values of them are being saved from bar to bar to bar to bar, even though it's right here. Okay, so that being said, what you have to do is before this runs every time, you need to make sure that this M gap is set to being null. Direction is reset back to being null, right? So all you have to do is just go up here, M gap equals M direction equals M ref equals boom. Verify. Didn't have to do anything else over here because this is verified in here. And I think this is probably kind of long. I mean, I know it's a function, right? So talk about like loose coupling, right? This is, you can control everything that's going on in here without directly doing anything here. So that's Coach EasyLanguage. Go over to Coach EasyLanguage. He'll put you up on that. Okay. All right. So now let's go back over to our radar screen. And now you see that they're equal, right? Not only are they equal, which I'm not as amused with, but they're right. I'd rather them be right than to stroke my ego. I don't need my ego stroked. I like to be right. And that's the problem with me with trading, guys, is I like to be right. So until I can get this thing to where it's about 90%, 95% win rate, I'm never going to quite fully feel like I'm ready. All right, so that's what you can do with that. Obviously, you can do other things with that as well. You can print to the print log. So let's open up the print log. Okay, we're going to clear that, and then we're going to come back over to our main display. And so for this indicator, along with plotting it here, we're also going to print bar date time dot to string, and then we're going to print the bar name. Verify that, and then when we come back over here, you see we have all these bars, and then we have what kind of candle it was. Now, it didn't go back very far, and actually, it only gave us that current bar, right? And this is something that you have to appreciate with radar screen, is it pretty much just gives you the information where you're at, right? What you have to end up doing is double clicking on the indicator, or clicking on it, go into edit symbol, all symbols, go to general, and then, well, we already have additional bars loaded, 200. Now I will tell you this also. I hate to say it. TradeStation is having an issue. They're having an issue with their radar screen and the values that are in their radar screen. Something going on with the data and radar screen. I don't know what it is. And they said there's no workaround, but as of January 14th, there's some issues with the radar screen and the data that's in radar screen, which again, that doesn't help any of us out, not even a bit. So let me cancel that. Let's go over. I'm going to make one more change to the program. Value 1 equals, or value 99 equals 1. Okay. All right. So I just said value 99 equals 1. I'm just curious if we'll get yeah, so we really didn't get much of a change there. And we're getting like what, 1 bar, the 735 bar and the 740 bar. We're getting that for each of these 4 symbols here. So we're only essentially getting 1 bar. Excuse me, I'm looking for this to go back and give us, all those bars, right? So when we click on studies and edit the symbols and then go to general, I want it to load 200 additional bars. I want it to give us information on all those other bars. And currently it's not doing that. So let's change this to let's change this, and then I'm going to re-verify the script, and then yeah, same thing. So we're still only getting those 2 bars, 735 bar and 740 bar. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, something is up with this. Something is up with this. Plot bar name. All right, and the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to say if symbol is equal to @es, then print bar number. And we're going to get rid of this print. So now we'll see how many bars we have showing up. Well, we're getting a number of bars there now. Look at all those bars. Okay. Well, how come we're not getting all those bars? Because it should do the same thing. It should print the bar date time to string and the bar name. All right, so let's do this. I'll tell you what. is do this, drop that in there like that, do that, and then do that. Then come over here, and yes, we have them all showing up now. Again, this is even though they do have something going on with their data, this just might be a lack of understanding that I have with Radar Screen. Radar Screen is one of my weakest apps, but that's why I'm doing so much with it now, so I can get much better at it. But here you go. So if the symbol is equal to at ES, then print bar date time to string. So now we're getting all these other prints. Again, I don't understand why we didn't get those prints before when I just said print. I didn't ask for everything. Okay. All right, so now I'm getting a bunch of 740 bars. Print bar date time, I'm getting a bunch of 740 bars, and they're all different. It's almost like it's I don't know. 745, 740, 745, 735. I mean, it just doesn't even make sense. It's doing a 745 bar. I'll tell you what, let's also print the bar number. Okay, now when we print the bar number, now it's giving us every single thing. Okay, so maybe that's what I need to do is in the future, because I know Coach EasyLanguage was saying that you might need to do something like putting this here, which kind of forces it to do a calculation on every bar, but I don't think that this is enough. Let me see. I said value 99 equals 1. Let me say value 99 equals high. Let's try that, and then we're going to get rid of this, and then we're going to add this back. Boom. There we go. Okay. All right. All right. Now we got something. All right, so saying value 99 equals 1 doesn't do anything, I guess, because it's not 1. The number 1 doesn't really force a call. It doesn't require any information from the chart, but actually looking at the high or pulling some information from the data does require you running the bar. Otherwise, I guess this doesn't require you to run the bar, which I would think that you are asking of it. What? Bar name, function? You're asking information about the high, low, open, close. So why wouldn't this be enough to prompt the data requests? Well, apparently it's not enough. Okay, so you might need to just kind of plug this into a bunch of your radar screen indicators if you're running into a similar issue as I am. So that's a bunch of nuggets for you, because that's a nugget for me too. All right, I think that's that. I'm impressed with that. That's a lot for me. That's a big nugget for me. So with that, guys, I'm pretty much gonna shut her down. All right, I'm Eric. Well, why don't we have this one here? Did we change this one here? Did we do something there? What did we do here? How come this one isn't showing up as bearish? This one is just bearish. Yep. Okay. I know I changed one of them. At an interval. I changed that one to 10. I think the other ones were at 200. Oh, and then that. And then some of the folks on the forum say that they don't leave this to auto detect. They pretty much understand what's going on with their indicators, and they set this manually. So I only need to be able to reference 1 bar back. So I'm going to put user defined as 2 bars, max bars back, and hit OK. All right, but I'm still not getting anything for RTY. So I'm curious about that. But I'll play around with that later. and I won't waste your guys' time, but you see the rest of them are kind of lining up as they're supposed to. One other thing that I could do is just reload it with a new RTY. Yeah, still doesn't. I think this gets into what they're saying, having the issues about data not always loading up. I think maybe that's the issue here. By the way, it looks like it did decide to pull up the information here just as soon as I shut the cameras off. So maybe it's a little bit slow loading, but yeah. Anyway, we got it, guys. We got it. All right, we're good to go. I'll catch you next time. So anyway, guys, I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.